In this episode of How Not to Spend Money, we're going to discuss how I put over $13,000 worth of front-end components on this truck trying to build the ultimate setup. Alright folks, if you're new to the channel, this is my 96 Dodge Ram 3500. I'm just going to start out with a couple of things. First of all, saying that I never intended to spend this much money. I spent less than $4,000 buying this truck, Canadian, and I thought that over time I would put maybe 20 or 30 grand worth of turbos and lift kit and whatnot into it, and I mean, we are probably triple that amount now. I get it. You don't need all these parts. A lot of people are just completely infuriated that anyone would spend this much money on a truck. But, you know, the day of vehicle projects costing an arm and a leg is definitely here. Parts are expensive. Diesel truck parts are expensive. And let me tell you, I'm not trying to waste money, but this was my version of trying to put together the ultimate front end. I will also say, too, that I am in Canada. So we are talking about Canadian funds. The 13,000 would probably translate roughly to around 10 or 11,000 US dollars, something like that. Way too much money to be putting into an old junky truck. I get it. But, I personally have a deep love affair with the second-gen Dodge Ram. I remember when I was 10 years old, my dad was buying a Dodge Dakota. This is in '93, one of the old square-body Dakotas. Those of you guys that know, I have a Dakota RT, one of the newer styles. I'm obviously a Dodge guy, and that started pretty young. But I remember seeing the picture of these trucks on the wall. It was a big deal when these things came out. I've had 3 of these, 2 gas ones and this one diesel, and I'm thinking about this truck as a long-term thing. So anyways, let's start getting into some of the lists and some of the prices of things that went into this truck. I get it, it's shocking, but let's go. So this thing has got the Yukon CAD Delete kit, Yukon 411 gears, and we're just talking about the front ones. Obviously the rears needed that as well. This truck has ARB air lockers front and rear. We're just talking the front one again though in this price. It's got a free spin hub kit from Dynatrac with the Dynalock hubs. It has got the Aerocraft, I think they're called hub extenders or something, but that needed to be upgraded because this thing is a dually. Also a re-gear kit from USA Gear, I believe that was. A couple of U-joints for the new 35 spline axles that go in the Yukon CAD Delete kit. Synergy HD steering kit. PSC XD steering gear, and I also got the pump and lines to go along with that. Solid Steel Industries track bar, adjustable track bar. I've got EBC pads and rotors. The first set of EBC pads have actually been replaced now. I've just got a regular set in there, and I'm probably going to do some tests because the EBCs felt way better, but they did wear out quick. And then I've got a set of Dynatrac HD ball joints. So this thing is pure beef on the front. I would love to know what some people think. If you got other parts or other brands that you like better, let me know. But going through, that was the list of parts. So let's have a look at everything. All right, so as I mentioned, this was just the tip of the iceberg on spending with this truck. This was a really expensive project. Diesel truck parts are super beefy and super expensive. I mean, we're not even getting into suspension. You know, that's probably another 10 or 12 grand on this truck. I mean, there's 7 grand in rims and tires, probably 8 grand in stereo, probably 5 grand in the transmission, probably another 5 or so in turbos and engine parts and fresh rebuild on the engine and blah, blah, blah. It just goes on and on and on. This was really, really, really expensive. But anyways, first of all, we will take a look at the Dynatrac free spin hubs. So I got the Dynalock hubs, and the other option is of course worn, or the other main option that I had. And one of the bonuses is that these don't stick out very far, but unfortunately with these rims they don't stick out far enough. So I think I spent an extra $500 to get those over the Warns, and if I had to do that again, I would definitely have got the Warns so that we didn't have that gap in there. But anyways, it is what it is. In here we can see that those are the EBC rotors, and then we've got the Aerocraft hub extenders, which allow for all this to take place. Now that upgrade was shockingly expensive. I mean, we're probably talking over $4,000 Canadian just for the free spin hubs and the Aerocraft. I know I'm saying it wrong. I want to say hub extenders. I don't know what they're actually called, but anyways, you might ask yourself, why in God's holy name would you do that? Well, that is a good question. And I am planning on hopefully keeping this truck for a long time. These came with unit bearings stock, which have a reputation for wearing out quickly if you're on 37-inch tires like I am. I think they were around $400 for a set, something like that. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't really want to go down that road of just parts wearing out all the time. These trucks have a reputation for chewing through ball joints and chewing through those, so I went with that kit. I also put the Dynatrac HD ball joints in, which I think was another $1,100 or something like that. Anyways, I just wanted something that would have a chance for lasting for years. I just don't want to be screwing around with it. I want this truck to be beefy, set up for, you know, these tires, and just to give it every chance of working properly. All right, so just looking under here, this truck has got the Synergy HD steering kit. That's those gray bars that you can see moving from one side to the other. When I got this truck, it was like driving in an old movie. Like the steering wheel was driving like this just to make it go straight down the road. You know, the steering gear was screwed. The tie rod linkage was all just complete crap and worn out and everything like that. And these trucks have a reputation of having pretty bad steering from stock. And I just wanted to go through it and just give it a good proper setup. So I went ahead and put in that Synergy HD steering kit, the PSC steering gear, and I guess to some degree, I mean, it's not really part of steering, but we'll call the the Solid Steel Industries track bar, adjustable track bar. This thing's lifted 3 inches, and the one that was in there was complete crap. So decided to do that just to get everything sitting a little bit more square and level. When I put the stock track bar in at first, it was kind of weird. I had to jack up half the truck just to kind of get the thing to fit in there, and it was clearly just not the proper setup. So anyways, got that in there, and the thing runs and drives and steers just great. All right, and next up, a bunch of stuff that you can't see but is in that differential is the ARB air locker. I've got new Yukon 411 ring and pinion. As I mentioned, I did that myself. That was a gigantic job. And then I've got the 35 spline axles and the Yukon CAD Delete kit. So I just want to mention really quickly, I am going to go through all of these parts and make separate videos. There's been a couple people ask about the steering gear that I have, so that will probably be the next video. I'll do some reviews and just talk about the experience of installing it and owning it and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, let's just continue on, and just know though that if you want to see something a little bit more in depth on one of these parts, just let me know and I'll try and make a video soon. All right, so talking about the 35 spline axles and an ARB locker and stuff, was it really necessary? I don't know. I mean, this thing had just a fully open front diff. I wasn't going to weld it, obviously. So I was planning on a new center section. If I'm going to do that, why not go up to 35 spline axles? I kind of got caught in that whole world of, well, if I'm doing this, I better do that. And there was a lot of that on this truck. But at the end of the day, was it really necessary or worth it? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you to decide. I haven't had this thing 4x4 in very much, to be honest with you. My thoughts were, you know, if we're ever down in the sand dunes and, you know, trying to tow a trailer out and stuck and you got this thing, you know, wide open, trying to pull through there, like situations like that might matter. I'm also planning on building the Xterra into a rock crawler, and it would be nice to know that if that gets stuck somewhere that I could probably have this as a pretty solid recovery vehicle. I mean, it's super wide. I'm not planning on doing any crazy rock crawling, but if I had to go into the bush and yank something out, you know, it's probably going to be an asset for that. So anyways, was that necessary? I would say probably not, but am I glad to have it? Yeah. All right, folks, well, there we have it. That is my version of the ultimate front-end setup on a second-gen Dodge Ram. The problems on these things are very well documented. Death wobble and parts failing prematurely and all kinds of stuff, especially when you've got a big heavy Cummins in there and big tires and all that kind of thing. You know, I just wanted to kind of do it right and give it every chance of working for the long haul. So anyways, let me know what you think. What kind of setup do you have on your truck? Are these parts that you would want to buy? What is your thoughts on the truck? I'd love to hear what people think. This thing has been right down to a bare frame within the last year or so. A lot of bugs and quirks to work out still, but it is really starting to come along and turn into a nice vehicle to own and drive. So anyways, please leave a comment and let me know what you think. I'm going to be doing a bunch of videos with this thing in the near future, reviewing a lot of these components. So like I said, if there's something that you want to see, just let me know and we'll add it to the list. But anyways, hope you guys have a good day. Please give me a thumbs up, a subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified of new videos, and we will see you on the next one.